you can see, it's me, moi, Jade. If you don't know who me is, I'm Jade, and I have not posted on this account for the last year and a half. But it's okay because I'm back and I'm better with quality video ideas. So, if you can already tell by the title, today I'm going to be doing my 2022 New Year's resolutions and manifestations. On this notebook, I have 6 resolutions and 6 manifestations that I'm going to share with you guys, and feel free to be inspired by these, or to maybe even take some ideas if you're planning on making your own video or something. Without further ado, let's just get started right into the video.
Northside, cool and shorty, yeah, that's where I stay.
Okay, so first I'm gonna be doing my resolutions. So yeah, this video is kind of late. It's like 3 days late, but it's okay because I just got back, meaning 2 hours ago. I just got back from a 2-week vacation, so I wasn't able to do any videos or anything until now. So we're gonna start off with the first one, obviously. So the first one is self-care / love. So I never really had a problem with self-care. By self-care, I'm meaning like hygiene, because I do facials quite often. You know, like I take care of myself when it comes to hygiene. But by self-care, I mean like body imaging. And I put this one as the first one because I felt like it was most important, because this is definitely something that I struggled on a lot last year. Like last year, I was just very insecure, and I kind of still am, but like now that I'm like talking about it, I'm getting a little better. So yeah, and like I kind of just always hid myself in a way, and I'm getting really deep, but basically, you know, you get the point. Like I want to put this on my list because I genuinely want to get better at it, and I want to inspire other people like me who are in the same situation as me, or similar situation as me, to know that 1, that they're not alone, and 2, that it will always get better. So yeah, we don't want to waste too much time on that one because it doesn't even take that much explaining. Okay, so for the second one, I am doing organizational skills. So I feel like this one was also really important because that's also another thing that I struggled on last year, especially in 7th grade. 7th grade was kind of a hard time for me because I was figuring myself out, along with it being like, because 6th grade, like it's a part of middle school, but it's not curricularly a part of middle school. So it was definitely a change because the work got a lot harder, and especially with COVID and having to go hybrid for half the year and going virtual for a quarter of the year, it was just a lot for me. So especially with virtual, because I never really got the help that I needed. And when I was in virtual, another thing is that I would be continuously distracted by my phone. So I kind of was not productive at all, which is why organizational skills is on the list, because I want to get better at that. I want to learn to be more focused on the thing that's in front of me. Or like, for another example, because I'm not in gymnastics anymore, but when I was in gymnastics last year, my mind wouldn't, if I'm being honest, my mind was not completely on gymnastics most of the time. And it was usually thinking about some drama that had happened, or like schoolwork that's due. And also last year, at the beginning of my 7th grade year, I was trying to start a business. And that was when we were online, so I didn't have as much work. Like I still had a lot of work, but I had time, because if I got the work done, I usually got it done around noon, and I didn't start practice until 3. So I was just in the process of starting a business that never started. That's a whole nother story if y'all want the story. Like my mind would not be completely on one thing. If I'm doing one thing, my mind's on something else. If I'm doing another thing, my mind's on another thing. Like I'm not always completely focused. So that's another thing I'm really trying to get better at, is getting more focused and getting better organizational skills. Okay, so my next resolution was be more positive. So basically last year I struggled a lot with this one as well, because I was just always thinking the worst. Like and honestly I kind of had a reason to sometimes. Like I was always going through something mentally, so I was just always thinking the worst. So that's why in 2022 I plan to be more positive, because it's not good to do that. Like, you can really stress yourself out when you just constantly are thinking the worst about yourself. Like, you're not alone. If you're in the same situation with me, you're not going through this alone. So if this video somehow reaches people more than my friends and family, then and you're going through the same thing, then let me know, because like I'll probably have all my socials in the description. So if you ever want to talk, then you can just hit me up and I'll always be there. Okay. Sorry if this video is crappy, first of all, because I'm very rusty, and yeah, but I'll try my best. But anyways, so my next resolution is to have healthier habits when it comes to my body. Kind of healthier habits anywhere, because like last year I'd stay up very late and just like watch TikTok or something, and just basically like just keep ruining my mind. Like, social media can ruin your mind. I'm telling you, social media can destroy you, because it's putting this image in your head that you have to be that you have to be this, you have to be perfect, you have to have an hourglass body, you have to look like this, you have to act like this. As much as I love social media, because one, it's an entertainment source for me, and two, it's a place where I feel like I can just always be myself, and I can just always let out everything, even if it's not publicly, basically. As much as social media can be a good place, it's also gonna be a bad place. And it puts a lot of stuff in your head. It put a lot of stuff in my head. And that's where the origin of most of these problems came from, is from social media, especially with quarantine. People were posting every day, constantly, and it just made me think, oh, I have to look like this. Oh, I have to be like this. And sometimes it's okay to take a break from social media, and I have yet to, because I feel like my day will be empty. And that's another thing. I'm like addicted, and it's not okay. But I need to take a break from social media at least every once in a while, because it's not healthy for my mental health or for my health at all. Anyways, now that we're done ranting. Okay, so I am growing up in a Jamaican household, and so Jamaicans, we eat and drink a lot of herbs and fish and chicken. So we don't eat a lot of junk food, but also since I live in America, and when I go to the stores, I see yummy junk food and I pick it up. So that kind of did alter my eating habits. Like, basically, it's just not healthy. And I'm not saying that I want to be 100% healthy, because one, I don't even know if that's a realistic goal. Like, all of these are supposed to be realistic. So if I say, oh, I'm gonna just eat greens every day, non-stop, not eat any junk food at all, that's not realistic, and that's not okay for you to do. Because if you make unrealistic goals for yourself, you're gonna be really upset. If you're like me, you're gonna be really upset when you don't reach those goals. Then that's just gonna take another toll on your mental health and your regular health. So just don't make unreasonable and unrealistic goals, because they're 9 times out of 10 not gonna happen, and then you're gonna get really mad at yourself, and it's just gonna be hard. So yeah, so healthier habits, meaning at least, like, you know, spice up your breakfast, you know, not just like a kale juice, one of those boring, bland carrots, spinach, kale, like, no, spice it up. Maybe like a bagel and some peanut butter and some strawberries, you know, like kind of spice it up, because then it makes eating healthier fun. So yeah, and then another thing, eating like healthier habits, working out more. Kind of in September, well, when I quit gymnastics, ever since I quit gymnastics in June, I started working out more. Not more than I did when I was in gymnastics, because in gymnastics, I kind of was there 4 days a week. so I didn't really need to work out because I already did at the gym. But when I quit, I needed a source of exercise because everyone needs to exercise. It's good for your body. It makes you feel in a better mood when you do exercise, and it's just ultimately like better for you. So if you're watching this in the daytime and you haven't gone on a walk yet, go on a walk. If you're watching this in the nighttime, then go stretch or something. Like, exercise is very good for you. But anyways, yeah, so then, but in September, like when school started, I started working out like once or twice every like 2 weeks to a month, which it was okay. Like, I kind of maintained the body that I wanted somewhat. Like, I toned my legs and like I maintained it for the most part, but my goal is to at least try to work out at least twice a week every week now, and then I'll just progressively keep going from there. So we've spent enough time on this one resolution, but it was very important to talk about. My next resolution is to find new hobbies. So I didn't really have any hobbies, and that kind of brings me back to the social media thing. Since I had nothing else to do with my time, in my free time, all I did was scroll on social media, which sometimes is like, it's fun to do, I guess, but then it gets unhealthy when you're constantly scrolling on social media. So it's better to find hobbies. So my hobbies that I plan on trying to acquire are journaling, yoga, and meditating. I don't know about the yoga one because I don't know how to do yoga, so I feel like yoga is just stretching, but like there's some type of spiritual meaning behind yoga and I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna try to educate myself, but before that, we're just gonna stretch, I guess. Another thing with gymnastics is that I had a lot of flexibility. So like my splits and my back bends, and that'd be something cool to keep, that like a party trick, I guess you could say. So stretching. So stretching is good for your body. It gets your blood flowing, especially if you're stretching in the morning or the nighttime, like the nighttime before you go to bed, or the morning when you wake up. It gets your blood flowing and gets your joints warmed up, so stretching is very good for your body. So yeah, on to the next one. Okay, so my next and last resolution is to start consistently manifesting / become closer with God. Especially last year when all this like political stuff, I don't want to get controversial or like political or anything, but it kind of was just overwhelming, so I kind of just like stopped for a little bit because it was honestly stressful, and like also having to worry about, oh, if I'm not perfect then I could end up in like a painful eternity when I die or whatever. And so that was just too much for me to worry about, especially at this age. Like, I don't plan on dying by any natural causes sometime soon, so why am I even worrying about this? Exactly. But I'm back at the starting point. In the manifesting, I started manifesting especially last year at the beginning of the year. Mainly, if I'm being honest, mainly because of TikTok, because like the whole witch talk thing was popular, and like the whole crystals, incense, like the spirituality thing was popular around that time last year. So that's what mainly influenced my decision to start manifesting. But when I did manifest, I saw, like, I almost instantly or very soon, I saw like reactions from my manifesting. Outcomes, I guess you could say. I saw outcomes from my manifesting. I saw clear outcomes. One time I manifested $100 and I got it like the next week. Like, I kid you not. People say this, and this is also a very controversial topic, but I'm not trying to be controversial at all, so don't come for me. But like, this is just what I felt worked best for me. But I genuinely feel like the manifesting has definitely helped me get to where I am now. So I kind of want to get back into it because I kind of fell out of it because I just stopped with everything. Like I just kind of stopped caring about everything and I just stopped. But I'm back and I'm better. So yeah, manifesting and get closer to God. So that's the last resolution. And now on to my manifestations. Okay, so on to my manifestations. So I feel like this one will go by pretty quickly because most of them are pretty self-explanatory. My first one is I will start a business. I kid you not, I have wanted a business since I was literally 9. I had a slime business in 4th grade. I had a slime business in 6th grade. I tried to start a skincare business in 7th grade. And now here I am trying to start another skincare business. But it's more improved and it's better. And I'm going to start testing products probably tomorrow with the products that I already have. But I literally have wanted a small business since forever. And when I see all these young kids, like this 10-year-old got rich off of buying GameStop stocks. Some other girl came out with a 2.2 million net worth from her company called Zolly Pops, and basically it's sugar-free candy that helps your teeth. And then some other girl that I watched a couple years back, she started a small business / empire, meaning like she started a class and a small business by selling candles in Detroit. So I just see all these kids like on social media, which is why I say that sometimes social media can be healthy and impacting. But I saw all these kids with small businesses and it just really inspired me, and I was like, hey, I want to do that too. So I've just really wanted a small business for a really long time. So I have a plan and I'm going to execute that plan. And if you talk like you're going to get, like if you talk like it's going to happen, then it is going to happen. So that's exactly what I did. Yeah, so let's go on to the next one. My next manifestation is straight A's. I feel like this one is actually quite achievable because, like very achievable, because last year I technically had straight A's. The first 9 weeks I had all A's and 1B, which was an 85. And then the next 9 weeks I had all A's and 1B again, which is an 88. And both of those B's were in math. I feel like that one will be very achievable. And honestly, that one's kind of self-explanatory. So we're just gonna not waste any more time on it and go to the next one. Okay, so the third manifestation will be I have positive thoughts. And so this kind of goes back to the number 3 on my resolution list, which was be more positive. So if I manifest I have positive thoughts, I will have positive thoughts, because that's another thing with manifesting and saying your affirmations. It's writing into existence that this thing will happen. It's not gonna give you an exact time when it will happen, but it's saying it's going to happen. And that's another thing. Even if you don't believe in all that, it's a mindset. Manifesting, but it's also a mindset, a very good mindset to have, because if you say, I'm gonna ace this test, I'm gonna be positive. Like saying your affirmations is basically being positive. Saying manifestations is basically being positive. So if you say that you're gonna have a good year, then it's encoded into your mind, and it's like a reminder for when you have bad times. You say, hey, I'm gonna have a good year, so I need to have a good year. So if you don't have that positive mindset, if you manifest but you think it's not gonna happen, if you manifest but you don't have the mindset that's going to happen, then it's most likely not gonna happen. You have to have the mindset for something. It's like just like kind of learning to ride a bike when you're young. You have to have the I can do it mindset, because if you don't have the I can do it mindset, then it's not gonna happen. So that's just how it works. You can't just say that something's gonna happen and then you don't do anything to work towards it. First step to working towards something that you want to have is to have the mindset that you're going to do what you're working towards. So yeah, enough with that one. On to the next. For the next manifestation, I said my social media will grow. A part of me having a business, a part of me having a small online business is going to be making my social media grow. Social media, like I said, can be impactful, but it can also be unimpactful. It can be impactful both ways. It can be impactful positive and negative. So I'm not saying I want my social media to grow because like I want to be like a movie star or famous, the next Charlie D'Amelio. That's not what I'm trying to do. But it's a part of my plan. Like if I have a following on social media, I can, one, start my small business because I'll actually have a target audience to want my products, and two, I feel like I can get my message out to so many more people, because there always has to be, there's always a good and a bad. There always has to be someone on social media that you feel like you can relate to, or that you feel like you can always talk to, or that it's just always there to give you that reminder that you can do it. Like you always need to have someone to give you positive reminders. And so I want to be that person for some people. I want to, if I gain a social media platform, I want to actually use that platform for good and not just do, I'm a savage, classy, like, well, will I get copyrighted for that? I hope I don't. But yeah. And my sixth and last manifestation is I can be successful on my own. So this kind of goes back into being positive, because if you don't have the mindset that you can do it on your own, then you're always going to feel like you're going to need to depend on someone for your own success. And that's like how I felt last year. Like I felt like I always needed someone. I feel like, because I've been let down many times, and I still haven't learned until now that I need to have the mindset that I can be successful on my own if I want to be successful. I can't rely on other people for my success. I can't rely on other people for my own good. I have to do that on my own, which is the hard truth, because sometimes you feel like this person is just number one, always going to be there for you, never gives up, and then boom, they leave. I'm not talking about relationships, like I'm just generally talking about friendships, like, and this is not like guided to anyone, this is not directed at anyone in particular, so don't come at me. But I'm not trying to start drama either, but it's just the hard truth. You can't depend on someone else for your happiness, for your success, because they're either going to end up leaving or they're going to say, hey, you cannot depend on me because I have my own stuff to deal with, which is completely understandable if they say that. Like, if I had a friend who constantly leaned on me, I don't mind doing that here and there, or like often, because that's what friends are for. But I can't be there for you all the time. I can't be there for you 100%. I cannot commit myself 100% because I have my own stuff to deal with. I have my own stuff to do. And so I have to have the mindset that I'm going to be successful on my own if I want to be successful. Because if I keep finding more and more people to rely on and then just keep letting me down, then that's just going to keep bringing me back to point one over and over, and I'm not going to make any progress. So yeah, you see me with the little, what's his name? Not wisdom, but okay. You see me being enlightened or whatever. But yeah, it's just a hard truth. You can't rely on people if you want to be successful. Thank you guys for watching once again. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I know it has probably been a long video, but it's finally over and you can go watch something more interesting. Bye guys.
North side, coolin' shorty, yeah, that's where I stay.